Good day, everybody. June 22nd, 2026. I'm Connor MacIvor, sellersonlyagent.com. The Board of Realtors website is down, ladies and gentlemen, so I couldn't pull the numbers, but yesterday, 737 total active listings on the market for sale across all Santa Clarita Valley cities. We're watching as buyers are starting to slow down just a little bit because of interest rates. Interest rates are starting to creep up. Earned that or have a hope that interest rates are going to come down. I think a lot of that crying wolf scenario by the different people out there propagating the story that interest rates are going to be coming down. I think a lot of people have settled, all right, we might be just in this realm for quite a while. I don't know if we're going to see the 2 and 3% rates, but I think people are kind of digging in and settling in. But understand, whenever interest rates go up, the affordability factor is really, really the biggest impact point for home buyers. So home buyers, they were able to purchase maybe at a previous interest rate, but now they've been priced out. So what ends up happening, either more buyers come out with better ability to purchase in the same market, thereby keeping prices nice and high, or the buyers that are in place wait. And if they wait without those other buyers coming in that are able to pay more money for houses because they're able to finance more money, more property and real estate, then they end up waiting for these prices, and the prices eventually start to diminish or come down. It's going to, of course, depend on buyer drive. We have a pretty substantial buyer drive, but I don't know if it's enough to sustain the prices that we're seeing out here. Not that the prices are high. High prices would indicate that the values aren't there. And when it comes to real estate, that corresponds to supply and demand. We don't have a lot of supply right now. We have about the same amount of, so we're anywhere from 2 to 2.5 months of properties actually exhausting themselves, no longer being for sale. And that's called absorption rate for real estate right now. It would take about 2.5 months to be able to get to zero inventory by the amount of properties that are selling each and every week here in Santa Clarita Valley. A healthy market, at least understandably healthy, one that people, the experts in the field, say is the healthiest, would be about 6 months of inventory. Yeah, imagine that. We're so spoiled because when I first started real estate, it took that long back in the late 90s to sell residential real estate. But now, yeah, it takes a month, 2 months, and people are freaking out when it does. But that's just the way of the world, right? We want that instant gratification right now. For you sellers out there, one of the biggest pain points you have is whenever you get that property listed, if you're listening to agents that are feeding you a little bit of a story, and unfortunately, human beings do that. That's why it's up to you to verify the data when somebody's coming and telling you what your house is worth. Have them send you or link to you or build a website portal, something that you can look at, that you can explore. And that's what I do. I'll build an entire web page for my clients, for sellers that I'm talking to who are entertaining my services, wanting to hear what I'm able to do for the residents, what I'm able to sell their house for. And I include a totally functional web page that they can go to and they can see all the data, all the information, all the sold comps that I'm using to be able to place a listing price on their residence. And I don't think anybody else is doing that. But when they do see that, then it makes a lot of sense. It's like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm going to save using him. These are the costs that I'm going to incur using this particular agent. And then this is the price he believed my home is, at least for this month and the way the current market is trending. And then these are most likely the types of buyers I'm going to get, whether it's going to be a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, or contingent buyers or whatever, because you can look at that data. That data is there. This is the type of loan I'm probably going to get, whether it's going to be FHA, VA, conventional. For example, San Diego, a lot of that market's going to be VA because of the naval and the marine issues, the military services they have there. There's just a larger influx of military personnel. Coming out here to Santa Clarita, we see VA quite a bit because Santa Clarita is a bedroom community for Los Angeles. A lot of cops in LA. A lot of cops happen to have been in the military, at least historically. So we see a lot of VA buyers, our fair share of VA buyers, not a lot, but it does happen. But what types of financing are available? And then typical days on market timeframes for properties like yours, same thing, everything's displayed. So at least you can see it. And then when you have other people coming in and say, oh, Connor said, how much? Really? Oh, it doesn't make sense. This is why I can sell your property for a lot more money than you can shitting you, which I don't bullshit. I've been bullshitted plenty. We don't got to call that into the world. All right. So that's where this is right now. The real estate market we're watching as properties are starting to take just a little bit longer to sell, but we are in the sweet spot of the summer. This is when more properties sell historically than any other time during the year. So if you're considering it, you might want to get that valuation. I'll put it together for you. It just takes a phone call. And more than likely, I'd love to see your house. But again, smells are important. The way it looks are important. But, paper stuff, that works out too. If you want to start with that point, I'm happy to help. All right. If you have any knowledge, if you need any knowledge, any information, hit me up. And if you're a buyer out there, understand I don't represent buyers. That's a whole nother story. Some sellers love that. I think most sellers do as well. There is no dual agency issue. I'm on the seller side 100%. If you need an agent, I'm more than happy to refer you to my network, but not if it happens to pertain to a listing I'm selling for a seller. Just won't do it. I stay completely off. I have no favors to pay back. I have no agents that I have to make happy. Nothing. I'm on the seller side 100%. It works out. sellersonlyagent.com. I'm Connor with Honor. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Be awesome. Take care.